After receiving a personal invite from Shawn Michaels himself, Joe Hendry returns to the land of opportunity known as NXT. Plus, we have so much more, including Women's World Champion IYO SKY returning to her old stomping grounds. Let's review it all on today's
All
NXT
your
review.
favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Virgil back here with another episode of We Book It podcast. And this is a first, and I'm excited for it, guys. Listen, this is your first Tuesday night NXT review. And listen, this was the first, but probably damn sure won't be the last. I am back here to talk NXT wrestling with you, the land of opportunity, as I like to call it, because there's so much going on in NXT. And we here, we book it, feel that we need to give you guys what you want. You want TNA, you want NXT, we're going to bring it to you. So with that being said, guys, here we go. NXT was live tonight on the CW network, and there was so much going on. First and foremost, say his name and he appears. That's right. Joe Hendry came out and opened up the show. They did a recap video showing of what had happened over the last couple of weeks. And then obviously Joe Hendry comes out to nothing but cheers from the fans after Shawn Michaels invited him back to NXT. He cut a promo ripping Trick Williams. He called Trick out, but instead of Trick Williams showing up, guess who came out? That's right, Dark State showed up in the crowd instead. They attacked the TNA World Champion as their music played and the lights flash in the arena. They hit their signature power bomb to take him out. Again, this was a brief segment, but again, a powerful segment. Dark State is making a name for themselves in NXT, going after anybody with championship gold. Nobody is safe if you're in NXT and you have championship gold. These guys are like the Shield on steroids. It's really crazy what they're doing in NXT right now. Obviously, Trick Williams has a bone to pick with. Trick Williams has a bone to pick with Joe Hendry, but now Joe Hendry has even more of a bone to pick with Trick Williams. He threw some insults Trick Williams' way, and then he told him to get his ass out there. More of a fiery promo than we've seen in a while from Joe Hendry. Personally, I really enjoyed it. I enjoy anything that Joe Hendry does because I just believe in his character. I believe that he believes, and I believe that really is Joe Hendry. That's not just a facade or somebody he's pretending to be. So when you can really buy into someone's character and like really get into it, it makes it more fun. Just makes it more fun in wrestling all the way around. Next up, we have the title versus Heritage Cup match, but unfortunately, it was going to be that, but Alexis King lost the Heritage Cup. So, unfortunately, Ricky Saints was the only one putting his title on the line in the opening match. We see Alexis King try to get the early advantage before the champion even had time to remove his vest, but Saints immediately backfired with him and took control. King took advantage of him, taking a moment to remove his vest again to regain the upper hand. You know, Ricky Saints really should have stopped wearing a vest to the ring. The crowd was loud for this match. Bunch of back and forth between these guys. Obviously, Ricky Saints is an entertainer, and he always plays into the crowd. These two had a lot of good chemistry together in this match. You would think that they wrestled each other a bunch of times with the moves they were doing and just the way they were able to go back and forth in this match. They kept a nice, good pace going in the match between each other, and both guys got a good amount of offense. Obviously, you know, Ricky Saints ain't losing that NXT championship anytime soon, so he won the match to retain his title. I do want to point out that it was odd though that having Alexis King agree to put his cup on the line just for him to turn around and lose it didn't really make sense. But again, like I said, it was all in all a really, really, really good match. Next up, we have the pride and joy of NXT, Sol Ruka versus Carmen Petrovic, uh, coming out. But before that match, we had Tony D come out, and he has some generic cronies with him on the apron for his meeting with Stax. And he came out and he gave a heartfelt promo about how back in the day Stax had his back, and how he always knew that he had to look over his shoulder because Stax always wanted the big seat, the big chair. He always wanted to be the Don. And then, of course, Stax, true to form, does not show up in person. Now, Stax says he didn't show up in person because he knew D'Angelo would have his security there. Unfortunately, it sucked because some of that security came and tried to attack D'Angelo. And Stax pointed out that he cannot trust anybody. He don't know who he can trust. The family is in disarray. He doesn't know who he can trust. And literally, he gets attacked. Obviously, he fights, he fends off all those guys in the middle of the ring, but still they're playing into D'Angelo just not being able to trust anybody right now. And I mean, it's really true. He really can't trust anybody. He doesn't know who he can trust. So we'll see. Then after that, we go to break. After the breaks, like I said, we have the match between Sol Ruka to take on Carmen Petrovic in a non-title match. Um, and both women bring out support. Zaria comes out with Ruka, and Ashanti, the Adonis, comes out with Petrovic. And like I said, both of these women just put on a banger of a match. NXT is literally some of the best wrestling right now in the world. Definitely something that you can enjoy. They worked together as tag team partners in the past. They've also been opponents in the past. You could tell, but as they combine in this match, that they're trained together in the PC and they just know each other very well. Also, I like the fact that the match didn't go long. One thing about Shawn Michaels' booking, I do appreciate the fact that he does not allow a lot of these matches to go long. I think sometimes on the main roster, you see a lot of these matches go super long, and sometimes they be a little bit too long and it gets dry. And you start thinking, like, man, they really could have wrapped this up 10 minutes ago. But this was perfect timing on this match. Um, Notable moments in the match, the way Ashanti was the way Ashanti was talking to Carmen before the match was super uncomfortable to watch. Obviously they're going to do a breakup angle between those two. Ruka hit the snow snatcher with such a high rate of success is impressive also. All right, excuse me. Then after that, we had Hank and Tank versus Inamura and Briggs for the NXT Tag Team Championships. But before that, Williams came out to respond to what Hendry said earlier in the show. He admitted Hendry had his number, but he said it won't be the same when he fights him for that TNA championship. That's right. You heard it. He wants to fight him for the TNA world title. And listen, Trick Williams winning the TNA world title would not be a bad thing. I would not be mad about that at all. I wouldn't be mad if Trick Williams won both titles, and was a simultaneous champion of TNA and NXT at the same time. I think that would actually be really, really cool. Then Ava came out and she criticized Trick for his actions. Then after that, she said next week there will be a 25-man battle royal for a shot at the NXT title at Battleground. So if he wants his title shot, he has to earn it. And then up next, we go to Hank and Tank to defend the NXT tag titles against Briggs and Inamura. Um, we know that Inamura is heading back to Noah Pro Wrestling soon in Japan. So, like I said, we already kind of knew who was going to win this match, but it was still a great exchange, very hard hitting match. Obviously, Hank and Tank defeated Briggs and Inamura in the match. And like I said, it was a really good match. Not much to cover there, especially with Inamura going back to Pro Wrestling Noah here real shortly. We cut to the back, and like I said, there Oba Femi is cutting a promo in the back talking about Trick Williams and how he's spoiled brat and whatnot, and how he's pathetic. And then out comes the Undertaker, and the Undertaker looks at Oba Femi in the eye and he tells him, "I told you once before, this is your yard for now, but this is your yard for now," because they got some hungry guys that are coming from LFG that are going to be gunning for you. And Oba said that he looks forward to the challenge. So, like I said, we're excited for those guys to come to come out. So like I said, it'll be exciting. Next we'll also expect to hear from the women's world champion IYO SKY on why she is back at NXT. But at the same time, we have a tag match: Roxanne Perez and Julia versus IYO SKY and Jordan Grace. So Grace and Sky take on Perez and Julia in the main event of the night. They immediately took the fight out to the ring where Sky and Grace took control. Obviously, these are the four best NXT has to offer, so it should come as no surprise that this match was completely fun and entertaining. Perez and Julia having more similar skill sets allowed them to hit a couple of double team moves. Like I said, it's not really a great matchup. I mean, it's a lot of power, and then you got the high flyer ability. You got the power of Jordan Grayson and the high flyer ability of IYO SKY. But still, like I said, I don't know if their styles mix, but in the end, they do come together, and they end up winning the match. Grace and Julia fall into the aisle, leaving Sky to score the win with their signature moonsault on Roxanne Perez. Do not be surprised if you end up seeing Roxanne Perez show up and challenge IYO SKY for the women's world title on Raw. I think that'll be a great match. That'll be something that Coach will cover, and I'll definitely have it for you over here on Tuesday nights as well. Great. So, like I said, the show ended with the shot of Ava telling Stephanie Vaquer that her next challenger will be the winner of Julia versus Grace next week. That's right. So we're going to see who Stephanie Vaquer's next challenger is. And again, we're excited to see what is going on NXT. A lot of huge moments, a lot of big stuff coming. These guys are the future stars of tomorrow, but they're also doing their thing right here today in NXT. So you don't want to miss out on that. They're definitely doing their thing. But yeah, man, I appreciate you guys all for watching. Please comment below. Let me know your thoughts on the NXT show. Let me know your thoughts on Joe Hendry. Do you think that Trick Williams could eventually end up being a double champion? Yeah, guys, just comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are steadily trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. We are inching very, very close. So we appreciate each and every last one of you for tuning in to this channel. Thank you all so much. Until next time, I'm your boy Virgil. Keep those booking pencils sharp and keep on booking.